All right, everybody. Welcome to a very special once off podcast here. This is kind of a jumble between Champions of Small Business, the Worx podcast, and just a general podcast that needs to be made because we have a really important message and a really important person to share with the world and to share with everybody who's listening here. So we are it is the time of year where it's the holidays. We're a couple days before Thanksgiving here, and I am joined today by Sarah Barr with Konhaus Print and Marketing, and I'm also joined by Jason from Diakon Adoption and Foster Care Program. And together over the last few years, we have put together this awesome program that helps kids in need. And helps the families that are helping these kids that are in need put a little something else under the Christmas tree. So we wanted to make this podcast here to talk about this program, talk about all the different things that Daikon offers, and talk to the amazing people that are involved in this program. So without further ado, I will introduce you to, we all know and love her, Mrs. Sarah Barr. She's the bomb diggity, right? We all know Sarah from Konhaus. She's an absolute powerhouse, somebody that I look up to in business. And thanks for being here, Sarah.
Yes, thanks for having us.
And also joining us, as we mentioned before, is Jason with Daikon Adoption Foster Care Program.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you so much for being here. What you guys do is... my God, I'm going to start crying in the first minute of this podcast. But what you guys do is just is absolutely incredible. So can you just for those of us who don't know, I mean, who is Daikon Adoption Foster Care? What all do you guys do? And kind of just give us the 10,000 foot view of Daikon, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So we have, as I've said, we've got services that cover the gamut of all the needs that might be there. So of course we've got adoption and foster care, and some specialized foster care even within that. We have our family life services, which covers counseling, in-home counseling, along with some specialized counseling for those children in need. We also have our youth services for those kids that have had that initial brush with the law. It also has some specialized education needs for those kids that are struggling with school at our wilderness program.
Which, by the way, the Wilderness Center in Boiling Springs is absolutely amazing. I have been involved with Diakon in a variety of ways for like 15 years. And I'll never forget the first time I went out to the Wilderness Center. I mean, it's almost 200 acres.
I believe so. Yeah, I know it's 2 miles up a dirt road to get to it. So
it's huge, but it's Thanksgiving week, so it's just appropriate. I remember I went out there. They had all the kids there. Some of them that was going to be their Thanksgiving meal that they were going to get to enjoy, and I literally was brought to tears listening to these kids share their stories about what they were thankful for, and from the impact of so many of your amazing staff members. It was a truly humbling experience.
Wow. So you guys have, you have acreage up in
Boiling Springs.
Boiling Springs, and this is exclusively for the Diakon program?
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's our wilderness program. Like I said, there's some education, there's some weekend alternative programming up there as well. Wow. So all kinds of services that any of our kids may need.
Man, that's so cool. I mean, there's something to be said about, putting children into nature to really open up, and challenge themselves, 'cause that's probably what, I mean, let's be honest, these kids are in a challenging situation, and to be tackling challenges together, I'm sure is extremely therapeutic for them, therapeutic for you, and helps to just break up the monotony of, what could be going on.
Exactly. And
Right.
That's the whole goal, is that therapeutic piece of, working in nature and working with the staff one-on-one to be able to better themselves.
Right. Wow. So, with what we have going on here, thanks for sharing, by the way. That's truly incredible. I had no idea that you guys did so much outside. I guess we only look at this narrow little thing that we do each year, but there's so much more that Diakon really gets into to to help not only family or children, but the families as well, it seems.
Absolutely. And that is our goal with all of our services, is to make sure that we are sort of addressing the issues from all sides.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's bring it, hold on, my camera's right. Let's bring it to this time of year, right? It's almost Thanksgiving right now. I think we're a couple days away from Thanksgiving somehow. And the holidays are quickly approaching. So Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about like the history of where this drive started? Because we're on a 5th year now.
Yes.
Of doing this, and we want everyone to, if we could afford to rent a plane to fly one of those little banners through, we would. But give us a quick little 5-minute history of what we got going.
Sure. So 5 years ago, the guys at DreamWorks actually came to me and said, hey, we need to do something for the community, give back to children. They knew that I worked with a bunch of nonprofits, and they were like, who could we help? And so right away, Daikon Adoption and Foster Care came to mind, reached out to contacts there. Of course, they were on board with it. So we started this toy drive. It started as Be a Secret Santa to a Child initiative. And so all the social workers were involved, and they got together with the families, worked with the kids, and all the kids get to pick a gift that they want for Christmas. And then we started an Amazon wish list and put those items on it, and then everything would get shipped to us. And then we handled all the wrapping, and then we delivered it to Diakon, and then it's a big thing to get everybody in and get it recruited and get vehicles and get things delivered so that it can be there on time to get under the Christmas tree.
And I think that's one of the best parts about this toy drive specifically is where this is something off of a child's actual wish list, something that they've actually picked out and that they want. And, we don't get to see any of that. We just see, from our end, we don't see who it's going to, right? But we do see that, like, I know there's so many times that I've seen stuff that my kids love, and it just starts to, like, it's that much, it means that much more, because there's one thing to get, a donation, but it's another thing to get exactly what you want. So I think it's really special that this, coalesced like this into finding exactly what one particular kid wants and needs.
Yeah. And I think it says a lot, because when we started it, and I was trying to find my number, I know we've helped easily over 450 kids since we started this. It's probably higher than that. It's probably on the low end. But the one thing I noticed was we started with a smaller amount of kids, and over time it's increased, which sadly that means that the demands are just that much higher with the amount of kids that are into those programs and stuff. So that has also been an eye-opening experience for me through the process, is understanding there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get these kids into forever homes.
Right. So the man we're really here to celebrate is Jason. I mean, you're the one that, you're involved in the organization. How did you, what drove you to be in this industry?
Oh, wow. Great question.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
So it all starts probably back in high school. So I was at the time Catholic school. I had elevated to become the trainer of the altar servers at my church, and from that experience, I just sort of fell in love with just the teaching aspect and helping others learn the craft and that sort of thing. And so I initially jumped into being a teacher, thinking, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Upon graduation of that, though, I jokingly say I fell into social services, and found that I absolutely love this aspect so much more, because I'm now teaching life skills. I'm teaching you how to deal with an emotional outburst. I'm teaching you how to maneuver society and life at general. Instead of, and again, don't get me wrong, teachers still deserve a whole lot of credit.
Absolutely.
But when you're teaching some of those like real life skills that someone can use day in and day out, it really does warm your heart and really sets things apart inside your brain. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because you're and again, respect to all teachers, but these are the kind of lessons that, a parent would typically teach, or, someone close to you in your life would teach you. And so for for people who unfortunately find themselves in the services of Daikon. I mean, that's huge. It's a huge benefit to have someone who cares and teaches not just reading, writing, or arithmetic, but literally is teaching life skills that people otherwise, might have a hard time getting access to.
Exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head, is that, most times these kids are dealing with situations where they are away from their families.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is up to our foster parents, our staff, to really work together to help teach these kids those skills that they desperately need to be able to move on to that next phase of their life.
Right. How many, it's a question I don't necessarily want to know the answer to, but how many children are in the program right now? Do you know, around about?
In our capital region, we have right around 60 kids.
Okay.
In our Topton region, last count I heard was 200-ish. But I know the bigger number across the state is, at any given moment, there is around 10,000 or more kids in foster care just across the state.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. It's a daunting number.
That is a daunting number, but there's plenty of Diakons spread out to help, to help as many people as possible, right?
Absolutely. So Diakon is just one cog in this massive gear, in that we work with other great agencies, Barr Foundation, Jewish Family Services, the PA Child. We all work together, to tackle this issue.
Good. That's fantastic. Oh man. So this is such a heavy thing. I don't mean to make this about me, but this is such a heavy thing that me and anyone who's listening to this that has children, like, we really take for granted what we have and what we've been able to blessed to have here in our lives. And the fact that you see these deeper things that children and the families need is so important. I mean, I know as someone, there's still things that I wish my dad would have taught me that he didn't teach me. And the fact that you frame what you do in that way is, I think, it's just so special. It's so special. And I feel honored to be sitting here with someone who gets that part.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're certainly honored to be here and to partner with Sarah and your agency as well, for this wonderful gift that you're giving back to our kids.
So for the let's give a high level overview of what the toy drive looks like, right? How do people sign up for it? How do they get involved, essentially?
Sure. So we have an Amazon wish list, which we put on social media, send out email blasts. I'm sure we'll have it somehow linked with this podcast as well. People can go on, shop directly. Just make sure that they select the actual gift registry address. That's super important for shipping. We need to have all items to us. I think it's by December 3rd. Or somewhere around that date. So make sure, don't delay. The biggest thing is we do want to meet these wishes of the kids. So with Black Friday and Cyber Monday and stuff, we really want to get those orders in sooner rather than later to make sure that the items are available before they sell out, and shipping deadlines and all of that fun stuff.
Right.
And then it ships directly to Konhaus, and then we have it organized, and then we have a fun gift wrap night, and then we get it all delivered to Daikon.
Yes. So getting back to Daikon, this was a question we were kind of talking about before, but can you share, what are the biggest challenges? And I'm sure this is a pretty loaded question, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you face in your position, and all of you at Daikon, that you guys face in your positions, when it comes to the adoption and foster care program today? And I guess, how do you guys address those, and then maybe how can we help?
So again, I think the biggest issue, if we sit down and really look at it, is really just the need for foster families. So we have referrals on a daily basis, anywhere from around a dozen or so kids that are coming in from the local counties that we contract with. And the unfortunate thing is that oftentimes we are turning them away because we don't have the foster homes to be able to place the kids in them. So we really are looking for families, and families of all shapes, sizes, colors,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Just families are families. And
Right.
so if you have an extra bed, an extra room in your house, you think that you can, open up your heart in your home to spend, to help another kid in crisis at that moment. We certainly are looking for that, for families like that.
Right.
So that's probably the biggest hurdle that we're having, because, again, for me, it's as we're turning away those kids, it's like, oh gosh, had we had one or two families that might have been able to help with those behaviors, that's where it kind of hurts my heart.
Right. Right.
And you have like educational events, don't you, every so often or something, so people that are maybe inquiring about wanting to be a foster parent or
Absolutely. We actually have rolling information sessions that happen on a weekly basis.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
so people can sign up through our website and through our Facebook page to be able to do that. But it's even as simple as recruitment@diakon.org.
Okay.
Just send us your interest and we'll get you signed up for an info session as early as possible for you.
So beyond this this particular initiative here for the Christmas gifts, what else can people who are listening do to get involved and help Diakon?
Great question. And so we are always looking for volunteers or other groups to sort of donate time and gifts. As much as what we love this opportunity here at Christmas time, I think the reality is that we are 365, 7 days a week, 12 months a year. We've always got kids coming into care. And so while we appreciate the Christmas gifts, an additional toy drive in March might be helpful. An additional toy drive in July might be helpful. Maybe September for start to back to school to help support our kids with school supplies and some new school clothing, those types of things. So we're always open to ideas like that. So no bad idea is turned away.
Right.
And where can they, you said about recruitment at Daikon, where if a business or somebody listening wants to get involved at a different time of the year, is it the same thing? They could email? They
absolutely can email that same address, recruitment@diakon.org, and the person who checks that box will get it to the local person that should be in charge, that's in charge to help organize that.
Okay. Perfect.
So this is not just a Christmas time thing. There is back to school was a big one that, just registered with me of, I mean, I spent so much money on getting my kids ready for back to school this year that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine 60 working.
Exactly. You're right. Now, again, remember that our kids do range in age from, birth to 18. Sure. So, I mean, not all of our all 60 of those kids are getting ready for school, but a good majority of them are. And so we are, we're working with our foster families, making sure that they've got the back to school, the backpack, the new crayons, the new tablets, all the good stuff that people need. And if there's stuff that we can offer to our foster families to come in and select and pick out, that's less money that's coming then out of their pockets as well. So
right. I mean, this day and age, you got to have a good backpack.
Absolutely.
You got to have a good backpack. I know I have 2 little girls. You got to have a good backpack. You got to have good shoes, and you got to have a good looking tablet, or it's these things that, we all take for granted, but to a kid, it really matters.
You're right. It absolutely does. And so when they don't have some of those supplies, when it comes to back to school, it helps to perseverate their otherness, that they are in foster care, that they are being treated like they are being treated differently than others. So
right. God, that's man.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to make it so heavy for you.
But. No. But I mean, that's what we're here to talk about is the gravity of this situation here. I mean, this isn't just a fun way to, give Christmas presents. I mean, there are the most innocent people of all, at stake here, and the ones that, they need someone to fight for them. And you guys do that fight for them. And
absolutely. Yeah.
And you provide, I mean, you're going above and beyond in ways like this. And, it's just, I'm an emotional guy, and, I love my family very much, and it's just amazing to see see good people out there that really care and want to make a difference in even just one child's lives, let alone 60. I mean,
I'll tell you, that's the thing that baffles me every year that we've done this. So this will now be my third year, I think, that I've worked with Sarah on this. And just the level of care that comes in that door. And then Sarah with her ideas is, oh, hey, I've got this idea for next year, or can we do this next year? And it's just, the ideas are constantly flowing, and I love it. And just, so this kind of support is absolutely needed and wanted. And we are certainly grateful for it.
So I actually have a question for you that I was thinking about. We do so much on the front end, and then we drop it off, and then we obviously don't see the kids getting it. I see the smiling faces of all the staff members helping unload the trailer and seeing it all piled up in the room. And but can you share any stories with us of items or things, that's meaningful or has brought excitement or joy to people's lives, that the community, because believe me, I organize this, but it takes a village to make anything like this happen. And we have an amazing community that backs us.
Absolutely. And I certainly agree with that. And so I think the couple of items that sort of really stick out in my mind from just hearing from my staff and seeing the pictures and stuff is you guys have helped gather sticker books. And last year there were these little soft snake fidgety type toys, which were phenomenal. And so those are certainly helpful for our kids as we're going to medical appointments or to court hearings. And so we're bringing those activities there to kind of help keep the kids engaged and calm down so that they can participate in these court hearings that they absolutely need to participate in. So little fidget things like that are always helpful.
Yeah.
Noted. We'll have to make sure that
Yeah.
we're able to collect that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's those little things that, that you don't even think about, and that's, what do those things cost? Couple bucks,
$3 to $7. Yeah.
Well, I think the one in particular you're talking about was $1.
Oh, the little snake fidget thing.
Or $1 from the Target bin.
Wow.
Okay.
Target for the win again.
Yeah. So it doesn't even have to be a large, massive, toy, right? It doesn't need to be a bike. It doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be an iPad or something.
It could even be as simple as like a deck of cards, like so that we can play cards while we're waiting for court, or, former therapist here. So like, I'm a big fan of like the fidget, like the Play-Dohs, the fidget doughs and the Therados and things like that. So I used to keep a small tin of that and just slide it in my pocket for when I was taking kids to court, just so that they had something to fidget with during their court hearing to help ease their anxieties.
Right.
Well, you're going to love my little surprise item then that I'm donating for this year. I'm not telling you what it is. But
I will wait for the delivery.
They're out for delivery today, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So that's a good, that's a good framing of, someone who wants to help, but if you don't have a lot of money, those small things like that can be really helpful. Coloring books, I'm sure, the little water books that you
absolutely
you fill those little water pens and they color in, especially for like the smaller kids. So yeah, it doesn't take a lot to help here. Even the smallest thing that costs $1 from the the Target bin is a big help here.
And I want to give a shout out. The past 2 years, Remax First Advantage in Mechanicsburg, they had a group of their realtors come together and they shopped for a ton of kids, and they're doing that for a second year. And then there's a local group of guys, business owners in the area that are really big about giving back and making sure money is kept local. And they stepped up to the plate last year when I got to a certain point and realized, oh my gosh, I still have, I think it was about $1,000 worth of gifts that still needed to be purchased. And they stepped up and wrote a check out so that I could buy the rest of those gifts. And they have already reached out this year. I know they kind of like to do things
little under the radar,
but I'm very appreciative to those businessmen. They're incredible human beings, and I thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But this is one of the other things that I think is really important about this, and you just touched on it, Sarah, but the local aspect here, right? And not to throw shade at any large adoption care or foster care program or Toys for Tots or anything like that. But this is all local, right? All of this, every dollar you spend goes specifically to a local child, right?
Absolutely. And so within our region, we're very local: Cumberland, Dauphin, York, Adams, Perry County, we're Lancaster County. We're all very, very local here. So it's our neighbors,
Right,
that we're helping out.
That's where my heart is. I love local. I love shopping at local businesses. I love supporting local businesses, and keeping it local as often as you can. If there's a local alternative, go support it once a month, because it will have endless positive impacts on our society, our local economy, and much, much more. So I guess to kind of close things out, I mean, is there a message that you'd like to share with everyone who's listening, or anyone who's ever thought about adoption or foster care program? Is there a good cascading message that you can kind of send down the line to everybody?
Or even share a success story with us.
Or a success story. Actually, that's even better.
So I'll start with the success story, but I do have a final thought for you. So our success story actually happened to us this year. So it was the culmination of lots of people's work. So we had a family who graciously accepted 6 kids so that they could keep the sibling group together.
Yeah.
Wow.
So literally overnight, they went from a 2-parent household with no kids to 6 kids the very next day.
Those are the ones that make me.
Yeah, right.
That's hard to get someone to foster one child, let alone 6.
6 at one time.
That's
Exactly. And so after about a year and a half of them being in their home, they actually were able to tackle through the court systems, and they actually adopted all 6 of those kids earlier this year. So these kids, as a whole, are now a family still, because they were able to be kept together as a sibling group. And so those are the fun stories that I love to keep, because when people ask me questions like this, like that's the importance, is that we're not separating the kids. We're trying to keep siblings together.
Right.
So we are looking for families that are able to take 1 or 2 kids. If you have the space and can help more siblings than that, we certainly would love to help fill that need in your home as well. So
wow.
Yeah. But my go away message, or my takeaway message is that if fostering or adoption isn't necessarily for you, please talk with your friends and your family, because I'm sure someone that you interact with, they just haven't gotten the message yet. So tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a church member, tell somebody you work with, because you never know how far that message is going to go.
Right. And you guys, to help me understand, you guys assist in facilitating this for people who otherwise wouldn't know, right?
Absolutely. So much like Sarah had inferenced earlier in our information sessions. So from go, we start you with information sessions, and then we take you through the training step by step. Once you complete the training, then we are working with you side by side with one of our family recruiters to get you through this process, understanding your family, understanding what your needs are, so that we can get you to that end goal of being an approved foster or an adoptive family,
Right.
to be able to accept those kids into your home.
Wow. So you guys, you guys make it easy. Not only are you, going out of your way to make it special, but for those who are interested in becoming part of the program, you also make it easy. That's
absolutely. And that's the goal, is, we know that accepting extra kids in your home is going to be challenging at best.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So however we can make that process any easier for you, that's why we're here.
Right. Wow. So amazing.
Yeah. Thank
you.
Amazing.
Sarah, did I miss anything, or am I sorry? I feel like I've gotten in my own head a little bit during this conversation. I started crying. I
was almost just in tears. That's an incredible success story. I'm so happy for that family, and to not be split. That's just huge.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to share the information so people can figure out if they want to buy something from the wish list, or if they want to just get in contact with Daikon, learn more, get information on fostering. That'll all go live then, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're going to put all of this live in. We'll put some links underneath this video.
Perfect.
So, if people want to get in contact with somebody, directly in your office, Jason, they can. We'll put a link to the wish list, as well as, is there an information page or anything that we can send people to follow up on what kind of future work you guys are doing or what you're needing?
Absolutely. It's all through our website, and we certainly can give you that link to link below as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, before I start crying anymore, Jason, I want to thank you for just being a good, authentic person. Sarah, I want to thank you for being a good, authentic person as well, because this is the kind of stuff that makes our world go round and what gives us purpose. And the fact that you decided to put your purpose into children is I think in teaching and mentoring and therapy and all of those things are so wildly important that I'm just thankful that you decided to go this route in life, because I think you're a special guy, Jason, and really been cool sitting down talking to you.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. It's always my pleasure to talk with folks that that share the same interest in foster care and adoption as what we have. So,
right, man, so cool. All right. Well, we will link everything down below. We'll let you know how you can get involved with Diakon, and yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for being here again. Sarah, Jason, I'm trying to remember my little buttons here. But seriously, thank you guys so much. This was awesome. And stay tuned. We'll be doing lots more for Daikon soon, hopefully. So that's all we got for you today. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.